What's up YouTube, Dan here for wargames, bringing you a test down video for the Invoked Mekk Knights that I showed you the other day. Now what we're going to do is, this is going to be a little bit different from our normal test downs, is we're going to do 2 going first and 4 going second, because that's just really where the deck thrives. Now our first turn plays, because we don't play the scapegoat in this version, is ideally we want to be getting into an Invoked Mekk and then being able to use and abuse the zones from there. Going second, of course, we can be a heck of a lot more aggressive and kind of fill the board a lot more. So we're going to start off with our first test hands going first, breeze through those with our opening hand of 5, and then kind of move forward that way. There we go, so that's our opening hand of 5, not bad at all. So we'll activate our Meltdown. Meltdown straight away gives us Alistair, and we're going to normal summon our Alistair, using his effect to search us out an invocation. Now obviously our opponent's not going to have any back row hate, so we do have the ability to set invocation if we want to use and abuse getting some of our Mekk Knights onto the board. Now the best thing about this is we're going to cut this. Because we've opened up with trading, we can now activate trading to get rid of Indigo. Indigo now goes to grave and we get to draw 2. Well, not ideal what we wanted, but still kind of works. So we have the ability if we want to set monsters, but what we want to do is we kind of want to get the best abuse is to get Alistair off the board. So if we wanted to, we could pay 1,000 to get a Raijin or something on board, and that lets us unlock a few more. So if we go instant fusion, you could usually save that if you wanted to and go 1,000 miles for the next turn. But if we go with Raijin, then what we can do is we can set one of our invocations and we can special summon our Blue Sky. Now the issue with Blue Sky is it gets add Mekk Knights with different names except itself from the equal to the number of our opponent's card in the column. So because our opponent doesn't have anything in the column, we can't actually search anything. But what it does do is it allows us to get rid of both of those and go into an underclock taker. Then we get to use the invocation we've set to banish, of course, our Alistair and our Indigo. There we go there. We'll get our Alistair back to hand, we'll get our invocation back to deck. And then we get to bring out our Mekk right there. So we've got a nice kind of play going on there. Of course, that could all be avoided. We don't have to use our instant fusion. Well, we could have used our instant fusion, kept this in our hand if we wanted to, and then our hand would look like that. Entirely up to you. But as our defensive plays, we've got a Mekk on board, we've got an underclock taker, we've got an Alistair for more plays next turn, we've got a Meltdown should we need it, we've got another invocation, and then we've got a Blue Sky that we can kind of abuse if we don't put it on board. So that does show you like a quick first turn kind of option. Now obviously if you use Scapegoat, you'd want to open up with Alistair plus Scapegoat, and then you've got more defensive plays to use during your opponent's turn. Now we're going to do our other test hand going first, to keep them short, sweet, simple and to the point, just so we can show off what the rest of the deck does when it goes second, because like I said, that's really where the deck comes alive. So we're going to cut that up, and I'm going to draw off opening hand of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, again, another interesting hand. We're going to go with Meltdown, because then we can bait out like any ashes or anything like that, should we want to. That would then search us an Alistair. We would normal summon an Alistair, use his effect to grab an invocation. Now again, we've got a very, very nice kind of ability with trading, meaning we can plus off of our Mekk Knights in that sense. So we would activate our trading, send them to grave to draw 2, always with the Meltdown. Now we have the ability to activate our invocation. That of course would get rid of our Alistair. Ideally what we want is you want some way of getting one of these more on board, but doesn't really matter too much. Sorry, brain went dead there. So we'd banish both those, get our beefy Mekk in our zone, get Alistair back to hand, and kind of leave it with that. The disappointing part is this isn't a set card. If this was a set card, we could then get him to board and we've got a nice little 2600 defender. But as you can see, we've got our Alistair, Mekk, and kind of go from there. Ideally, to be a bit more defensive, you'd want your hand traps as well. But going second, that's kind of where they'll start to thrive a little bit more. Anyway, now going second, we'll show you what the deck can do as it comes alive a lot more. That sixth card makes a huge amount of difference, and the way we'll do it is our opponent will have one column with 2 cards in it, as if they don't know what we're playing, and then the rest we have to fill up ourselves. So cut that, and then go with our first hand of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Very, very nice actually, very nice. Because we've got the Kaiju, we also have the ability to kind of dictate our opponent's board a little bit more. But let's say they've got the middle board kind of cleared. What we'll do is we'll activate this, we'll banish this, using its effect to search us out an Indigo. Because we've already got blue sky in our hand, we'll search out our Indigo. We can then special our Indigo here, use his effect to move him, to then allow us to special summon our blue sky. Blue sky then goes off, allowing us to search out 2 more Mekk Knights. Now we'll search out the 2 we haven't used, which is yellow and red. We'll activate our Meltdown, use Meltdown's effect to search out an Alistair. And then obviously we can normal summon Alistair in a minute as well. So what we'll do is we'll give our opponent a Gamma Seal, and we'll put the Gamma Seal in this column here. And then by doing so, if we set the trade in, if they haven't got any spell, ideally you would put it somewhere where they've got a spell, so you can just use and abuse these again a little bit more. So actually, let's say we put it over here, and then we'll set this. We can then special summon out our Red Moon. Now ideally we'd want a level 8 in our hand, so we could have searched out a little bit more off of Indigo, but regardless, that kind of lets us abuse trading a lot more. We would then normal summon our Alistair. Alistair's effect would then search us out an Invocation. There we go. We'd activate our Invocation. Actually, no, we wouldn't. Sorry, we would link. There we go. Put in those. Put an underclock there. Then we would activate our Invocation. Banishing our Alistair and our blue sky, put an Invocation in there, giving us a Mekk there, spinning back Alistair to our hand, and putting an Invocation back into deck. Now we can use Underclock Taker's effect to give Mekk the boost and lower one of our opponents. Then if we want to, we can link into a Decode Talker, and by linking into Decode Talker, we then have the ability to use Red Moon's effect to banish the Indigo to destroy the Kaiju. And now we've kind of cleared our opponent's board. They've probably got something in this column here, but we've got a Decode that can deal some serious damage with it. And then we've got Mekk that can, of course, be boosted twice by Alistair if we want it to. And then, of course, we have the ability to special summon yellow right here. So we do have more abilities to bump up monsters if we want to, and could go into a borrow load should we want to do that. If we want to deal with our opponent's back row, we might have a way of doing that. And it kind of gives you the options of what it can do, but that's still a pretty fearful board when you've got 2300 beta, 2300 betas, plus a 2500 beta that could be boosted up to 45, plus 2 more monsters on board, so you do have the ability to kind of extend a lot further. But the issue with these test stands, like I've said, is pure theoretical, because you kind of want an opponent to use their columns. But once you know that you're playing against Mekk Knight, you tend to spread your cards out a lot more, and then it does come down to the Mekk Knight player in order to use and abuse it that way. Anyway, so our second test stand going second, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're not going to be as aggressive as we want to, but we are going to kind of like, we have the ability to clear our opponent's board and leave them with 1 card. That in turn then lets us have a bit more control as well. So let's say we activate our evenly match, clear our opponent's board, and all they do is they leave 1 monster in this column up here. By doing that, we can then set the evenly matched and special summon our own purple. We can then activate Meltdown, use Meltdown's effect to search us out an Alistair, use purple's effect to banish that and bring us out a blue sky. We would then special blue sky, use blue sky's effect. It can search 1 card, obviously, because that's what they've kept alive. And he can search out our Indigo. We would then normal summon our Alistair. Alistair would then use his effect to search us out Invocation. There we go. Then activate our Invocation, getting rid of Alistair, and of course the blue sky. Invocation goes to graveyard. That will then give us a Mekk bar. Here we can then special summon Indigo here. We can then spin Invocation back to deck and spin Alistair back to our hand. And then we've got the ability to kind of deal with this monster here. That's now gone. And then Mekk can go in for 25, or of course we wanted to boost him to 35, giving us a bit of the option there. We do of course have an evening match set down here, but that's neither here nor there really, because if our opponent deals with that or not. We then get to return Purple Sky, so he can then go there. And then we've got 2 decent beaters on board with the ability to kind of search more monsters. And of course Indigo can move the cards as well, so he can move his cards wherever he needs to go in order for us to use and abuse the space again a little bit more. Upside down, that's why. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to do our third test stand going second. Again, showing you what they can do. And it is all theoretical because of our opponent's intuition or interaction with this deck, basically. There we go, so we'll cut those there. And we'll do our third test stand of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's quite a nice little hand. Quite a nice little hand. So again, we'll do the exact same way that this is going to work. We'll go purple. Purple will then spin himself out to search. Let's go. No, might as well go yellow. We'll then use blue. Blue would then search 2 more that we don't have, so he can search. So if we have trade in our hand, it's a lot better in that sense. But you can search another purple and another indigo. Sorry, should have done indigo first there, then use indigo's effect to move that there, then do blue. Blue searches 2. Normal summon our Alistair. Alistair's effect then searches out our invocation. There we go, there's our invocation. Then if we link these 2 together, go into our Underclock Taker. Then if we set a Monster Reborn there, you set the invocation if you want, entirely up to you. Special summon out the Red Moon. We've got a Monster Reborn, so we can activate our Monster Reborn should we wish, and that can then bring back either one of these 2, whichever column you want them to go into. We then have the ability, if we want to link all of these together for a link 4. We can go into Borrow Load, or of course we can go into YUGIOH. YUGIOH lets us draw 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we get to shuffle 3 back. So we can shuffle back an Alistair, don't really need that. YUGIOH is obviously going to let us special one of these back, so we're going to send back yellow. Thousand Eyes can let us deal with one of our opponent's monsters, so let's get rid of Effect Vader, so those 3 can go back to the deck. We can use YUGIOH's effect to bring in purple to the board. We can then use Instant Fusion should we want to, and again that will give us Thousand Eyes, and Thousand Eyes can then equip wherever he needs to. We can then activate Trade-In. Trade-In will let us draw 2 more. We could activate Meltdown if we want to search out another Alistair and deck fin a little bit more. We can now, of course, activate Invocation, banish in Indigo and Alistair. There you go there. That then gives us a Mekk. And then our plays are kind of good from there, so they've gained 500 as well. I believe obviously only Thousand Eyes can attack, but that's where you can kind of just link away the Thousand Eyes and deal with it that way. And that in turn deals with the equipped monster and moves your place forward a little bit as well. So you can kind of see where Instant Fusion can come in handy. If you wanted to, you could go into a Raijin. If you felt your opponent had a Book of Moon monster that was going to deal you with some issues. But it does give you a bit of variety. Now we're going to do our final test stand guide second, and again show you what this deck can kind of finish off, or how this deck can finish off. It's a very, very fun deck to play. I wouldn't say it's like dominating metas, but at this moment in time it's unexpected in the meta, which is catching a lot of people off guard. And that's kind of where it's, you know, taking its toll on the games. So let's go with our test stand, final test stand of going second, and see where we can go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Interesting. We're going to put the effect value in graveyard as if we've used it on our opponent already. We've then got the ability to go into indigo if we want to. Move indigo, get blue, and then blue can search. So we'll go indigo. Indigo can move himself if it wants to. So he'll move over there. Then we'll go blue. Blue will then search us 2 out. Blue can search us purple and indigo. Because by doing so we can then link these guys together, go into Underclock Taker. We can then, if we want to be guaranteed, we could set an invocation and put him there, but we're going to use and abuse our opponent's zone there. We're going to use that effect there to banish and add. We're going to add the red. We're then going to special red there. We're going to use red's effect to banish blue sky and deal with one of our opponent's monsters. We're then going to activate our first trade-in, get rid of our indigo, and draw 2. Oh, busted. Normal summon our Alistair. Use Alistair's effect to search. Oh, no, we don't. We don't need to normal summon our Alistair, actually. I think we can get 2 off. Can we get 2 off? I'm pretty sure we can get 2 off. So if we activate invocation here, send Alistair from there to grave and banish effect veiler, we can go into a Mekk. Then we can spin that back. Oh no, not yet, sorry. Then if we link these guys up, we've use Underclocked effect, then link these guys up into a link 3 of Decode Talker, then activate another invocation, banishing your Moon and Alistair. Can get you into a second Mekk. Not saying that that's an ideal play, but it is an option depending on what your opponent's got in the graveyard. If the opponent's got an Ash in the graveyard, then happy bloody days. You go into a Purgatrio, you spin the invocation back to deck, you add the Alistair back to hand, drop it on your Purgatrio. Purgatrio's doing a lot of damage. You've got protection from spell if you need it. Obviously, Deco can do target protection, and you kind of get to push your plays even further forward that way. So it's not foolproof, but it is definitely an option for you to give a go and try it out. Anyway, I hope this has kind of helped give you an idea of the way Mekk Knights work. The best way to test Mekk Knights will be against your friends, because it, like I said, it does come down to the way your opponent plays the deck, or the way your opponent plays their own deck, and how they try to work around the Mekk Knight kind of mechanic, just to stop you kind of special summoning, flooding the board that way. Anyway, I hope this helps. I hope it's given you a couple of ideas. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Until next time, guys, as always, happy dueling. Also, YouTube, thanks for watching that video. I hope you liked it. If you did, hit that like button. And of course, don't forget to hit that big red subscribe button in the bottom left-hand corner and the notification bell so you don't miss out on anything. We've got more deck profiles, duels, pack openings, and many more Yu-Gi-Oh videos coming up for you all year round. So don't forget to stay tuned for all of that. Thanks, and as always, guys, happy dueling.